Hello, it's Jen here. It is so freezing cold. I'm at my parents' house in Lake Arrowhead, and I just can never get over how cold it is here. And it's really probably not that cold. You guys would probably slap me if I told you how cold it is. But I'm dropping my kids off for the week. I need a spring break. You know what I'm saying? Today I want to talk about stripping it down. You know, there's always so many ways we can build business, and there's always so many strategies, there's always so many tools, there's always so many, different types of systems and all kinds of stuff. And, as entrepreneurs, we're overachievers. We feel like we can, we always say we can do anything, right? We can take on the world. And sometimes we tend to take on too much, and things start to just pile up over time. And over time, you're like accumulating, courses and different types of monthly memberships and different types of, maybe multiple different types of network marketing companies, because you just can't decide. You've just taken on all this stuff, and then it starts to just bog down your mind, and you're like, okay, I don't know what direction to go. You're like, I'm just gonna do it all. For me, I've been trying to do all these things. Like, I'm just gonna do it all at one time, and I'm gonna make it work because I can do it. I know I can do it. And like, the reality is could you do it? Yeah. If you wanted to really, slave away nonstop and just grind mode all the time, but you have to look at your scenario. You have to look at your circumstances and really think, is all of this necessary right now? And last night I was up really late. The house was quiet. And every now and then it's just really good to reflect on everything you got going on in your business and think, okay, what is all necessary for me to be working on right now? Do I really need to be working on all of this right now, right? Do I really need to have all of these different things that I'm paying for? Do I really need to have all these different things that I'm focusing on? For a while I'd think, yeah, I'm going to focus on building my list and building my fan page and building, creating a course. And there's just so many things that are on my goal list of things that I want to do. And I'm sure there is for you too. But at some point, like, I've noticed, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting it all done. And it's because you can't do it all at one time. Like, anything you want to do, you have to really put 100% into it. And you got to get laser focused. And you have to just break it down to its simplest form, so that way you can focus and actually accomplish what it is you want to get done. And I know we all, like, I'm guilty of it. I know you're guilty of it. We all get into these little things where we're just trying to do it all, and then we get hard on ourselves and we feel bad because it's like, gosh, I'm not getting anything done. But you're just putting so much on your plate to begin with. It's like, how are you? I think a lot of times we just set that expectation so high, and we try to take on so much at once, and then we feel bad when we don't actually accomplish all of it. So I want to help you, because last night what I did was I just wrote everything down, like everything that I would like to have as a 30 to 90 day goal. And I just made a list of all these things that I want to do. But what you got to do, and I want you to do this, like, find a piece of paper, if you have a notebook or a journal, like, write down everything that you want to get done, all these different goals that you have, because they all take maximum energy. If you really want to laser focus in and get a result with something, you have to really put all your energy into that. And so make a list of all those things that you have on your plate, all the things that you want to accomplish, all the goals. And it could be business goals. It could be, social media growth goals. It could be personal goals, getting out of debt, or, buying a car, or whatever you want to do. You have to write down all this stuff and then really laser focus and pick one thing to focus on. Just pick one. And it doesn't mean you have to necessarily throw everything out the window, but set it aside. Set it aside. Don't feel like you need to do it all at one time, because it's like, you could be thinking, oh, I want to build up my Instagram account. No, I want to make sure I'm doing, webinars every single week. And I want to make sure that, I'm, focusing on building my team. And I want to make sure that I'm signing up people into this thing. Or, you got to really, really break it down and not be so hard on yourself, and just put blinders on and run with something, because you'll get much further staying on one track than trying to run this way and then run this way and then run this way, and then you're just all over the place. So really, really take a moment, write down all the different goals that you have, and then prioritize. You can map out the next 30 to 90 days and say, okay, this is the things that I want to accomplish this month. I'm going to focus on growing my fan page, or I'm going to focus on learning Facebook ads. I'm going to focus on, building my Instagram account. I'm going to focus on building my email list. I'm going to focus, what is your focus going to be? What is your primary thing that you need to get done, so that way your business can move forward, right? A lot of people, you may be just starting out, and maybe you don't have an audience yet. So your focus should be, I need to start building my audience. And here's the thing, if a lot of times I get the question, should I work off my fan page or my personal page? If you're just getting started and you don't have an audience, you need to focus on your personal page. Unless you plan on running Facebook ads and spending money to get those posts that you're putting on your fan page out there, you're not going to get the visibility that you need. So that's why, even for me, I post, and I have a different purpose for my fan page than I do for my primary page. But if you're not running ads on your fan page, you're not going to get anywhere with it. You need to focus on building up an audience on your personal page. At some point in time, when you have thousands of friends, you're running out of space, then start focusing that, and you can start generating, 10, 20 leads a day on Facebook from your personal page. Then start focusing on building up a fan page, right? So there's always an order of operation. You definitely want to always have a system in place, whether it's a system that you design to help your team if you're in network marketing, or if you're an affiliate marketer and you have systems that you introduce to people to help them get more organized in growing their network marketing business. There's all these different things. So you want to make sure you're organized, but you don't want to spread yourself too thin. This is where overwhelm kicks in. This is where frustration, anxiety, this is where you start to feel defeated because you feel like you're not getting results. So it's really, really important that you just say, what am I going to focus on? Get a bird's eye view of what this month looks like. How are you going to be making money this month? What are you going to do to profit this month? Don't worry about everything else. Just focus on the one thing that you need to do, because think about, when it comes to building a business, it's also about, you want to think of it in terms of, building a house, for example. When building a house, you got to start with the foundation. You can't just start putting in windows and putting up the doors and putting in the carpet. You got to start with laying the concrete, laying the foundation, so that way when you start putting up the frame, it's going to be stable, right? So think of where you're at in your business. Do you still need to build a foundation? Do you still need to build an audience? Do you still need to get in front of more people? Because if you're in that phase, then there's certain activities you should be doing. If you already have an audience and you need to just start engaging them a little bit more and learning how to speak to the people that are coming toward you, and the people that are maybe interacting with you on your page or messaging you, and you just need to get better at engaging them and introducing them to your opportunity, then you're in a separate phase, and there's going to be different actions that you need to take, right? And then when it comes to closing, or getting more into profit mode, it's okay, I'm creating content, I'm putting out value, I'm engaging with people. Now I just need to really, start getting into profit mode. Then you're in a different phase, and you got to start learning more about how to close people, how to finalize the process, how to, maybe create some funnels that lead people to a product that you want to offer. There's all of these different scenarios, and you want to make sure you're not doing things out of order, and just chasing what everybody else is doing, because, a lot of times we look at, specific people. I know a lot of people who follow certain leaders, and what those leaders are doing right now may not be what you should be doing, because you may be at a completely different time in your business. You know, their chapter 22 may be your chapter 5 or your chapter 10. So you don't want to necessarily be copycatting what everybody else is doing. You got to figure out where you're at, and you have to make sure you are growing from where you're at, not trying to skip ahead or, you know, fall backwards. And it's easy to do because there's always these trends. You'll see, you know, I talked about that on a previous live where, you know, the big craze is Facebook ads right now. You know, that Facebook ads are great if you are actually in a position to be ready to run them. You know, I feel that you always want to get really, really good at, you know, creating your copy, getting good at writing stories, getting good at the fundamentals of what you need to do. So that way, when you go run an ad, it's actually effective. It actually converts. It actually works. People actually resonate with what you're doing. But if you just go try to run ads and you haven't learned any of the other stuff beforehand, you're going to get frustrated. Like, you may get some likes, you may get some people to comment, but if you don't know how to communicate with people, you don't know how to, you know, do that next step, it's like all for naught, right? So it's really, really important that you always know where you're at in your business and what the next phase is. You need to build your audience. You need to engage your audience. You need to learn to suggest and recommend things to your audience, and you need to teach your audience. You know, you need to teach them what it is that you're learning so that you're constantly helping the people behind you and learning from the people in front of you. So this is my little nugget for you today, is to really do an evaluation and strip. It's time to strip it down. It's trying to keep it in its simplest form. And, you know, that's a lot of what I'm teaching my peeps right now in my team, my clients, is that what are the basic things, literally things that take like 15 minutes to do in a day. Like, I want to break it down for people so simple so they know exactly what they should be doing right where they're at, and not have to stress about, oh my gosh, it's going to take me hours, I don't have time. You have time. You just have to start managing your time a lot better. You know, people, you know, and really there's no such thing as time management. You just got to prioritize. You have to really just think, what is the most important things for me to be doing? I don't need to be doing all this other stuff right now. You know, sometimes it takes reevaluating your schedule, which is something I recently did as well, because things just started to not jive anymore. And I was finding I just wasn't getting enough done before the kids were getting home from school. So I really had to go back to square one and say, okay, let me write out my schedule of what I'm doing, like, and really see like where the holes were or what I was missing, so that I could fill in the gaps or rearrange some things and really, you know, just get a better view at how I can structure it better, how I can get more done before my kids get home from school, so I'm not working as much when they're home. When you have to really become aware of these things, that when you feel like things are out of balance or you feel like things aren't working that well, write it out, like get it on paper so you can see like what's going on. Why do I feel so overwhelmed? What all am I trying to do right now? And what can I eliminate? You know, same thing with finances. You know, if you're spending so much every month, and I there's things that, you know, I used to pay for, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot I was paying for that, and I wasn't even using it. You know, so I would have to go through and really evaluate, you know, all my monthly memberships and things that I'm using, and think, okay, what can I eliminate, whether it was bills or like a, you know, if it was a gym membership that you maybe have or whatever, like where can you save money and not, you know, you don't want to eliminate things that will affect your business. You don't want to eliminate things that are going to, that, you know, will help your business by just saying, oh, well, I don't want to spend the money on that. Like, you want to really make a wise decision. And if you're using something, great. But if you're not using it, then, you know, reevaluate and just think, maybe shift some things and say, hey, maybe you want to try something new. I recently did that. I'm like, you know what? I really want to try out this new thing that's over here. So what can I eliminate? Because I know I don't need this plus everything else. So I'm constantly like making, you know, teeter-tottering and making shifts and adjustments and saying, okay, well, if I get into this thing, I don't really necessarily need to do this program or this whatever along with this other one that I'm doing. So I'm going to eliminate that one and then just try this one out, right? So you're constantly making those shifts. So I hope that this helps you out. And as always, feel free to drop some comments, questions. I'll keep an eye on the feed. And if you're watching the replay, I heart you and appreciate you for tuning in. And if you want to get more tips like this, just hop on my newsletter, meetjenjohnson.info. I think you're awesome, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.